Hey guys, and welcome to a little, I guess, vlog. I haven't made these in fucking forever. Excuse my language, but I haven't, man, I haven't really made one of these in a while. I mean, I guess the last one I really made was back in December when I did, a whole 2 hour thing of me just, letting it all out on you guys after being away from YouTube. What felt like for so long. And then, I went on my break for like close to a year, and now I'm back to doing it, and it's just kind of just fell back to just a regular routine now for a while. But as you guys know by the title, I'm 21 now, believe it or not, and my birthday was a while back, but I just wanted to kind of talk about it here, just because tell you guys, what I've been up to, what it feels like, and, it's kind of the same thing as when I turned 20 last year. That doesn't seem possible, but I feel like that's what we all say when we get older. And, yeah, it's crazy even, just being, past 20 now, just only a year older. And it's just, I've thought about so much what I've learned these past 2 years, especially what this last year has taught me, and whatnot. And it hasn't been easy. I've been on this. I feel like I've been on this road of just self-reflection, maybe soul searching, if you will. Hasn't been easy. I've been really, I felt like I've been put in a, almost forced by the universe or God, whoever you believe in, or whatever you believe in, to really sit and, work on myself, because I don't think I've ever done that in my entire life until last year. Because, I think I told you guys I've started therapy close to last year, and I'm still doing it now. It's been close to a year since I've started doing it now, and I'm not really where I want to be with it, but I've definitely made some progress within the last year, because I will say, first and foremost, like, healing and all that bullshit, like, it's a lot opposite to what you guys see online, people being all peaceful and that. No, I've had a lot of sleepless nights, still do. I cry a lot. Well, not as much as I used to, which is progress there, even though sometimes I tell myself I don't feel any different, and, yeah, so, but it's a big milestone, 21 years old, and for the longest time, I never thought I would make it this far in my life. I remember when I first started making these little vlogs here, or when I started this channel when I was 14, I didn't know any better. And then, and then I turned 16, and I was like, man, like, why does life feel so hard? And I was like, boy, like, if I were to tell myself, back in my high school days, I say that like it's a long time ago, even though it's only been a couple of years, but, you know, if I had the chance to tell myself, like, I thought it was hard then, don't get me wrong, I had it kind of rough, I lost my dad at a young age, had a rough relationship with my mom and all that stuff, which is rough at that young age, but I thought that was my low point, and I don't want to say now is the low point, because it's really hard, because it's not necessarily my low point, it's just, man, like, I feel like working on yourself and trying to learn about yourself and heal from certain things is the hardest thing you'll ever fucking do in this life. And it happens at different periods of life for everybody. And for me, it started at 20. Which, if you think about it, is really young. But, you know what they say, it's better earlier than later. But, man, sometimes I still get mad and just frustrated. I'm like, why the fuck did it have to happen, But, you know what they say, everything happens for a reason. And, yeah, so, but yeah, no, because, like, I've always been, like, driven on, like, distraction since I was a kid, because there was always just, like, this insecure part of me that just always has this deep need of wanting to be accepted by people since a young age, and it wasn't until, like, middle school, elementary school, and I was, like, 11, 12 years old, like, I would get bullied and harassed a lot in school, and that would go on for a long time until I eventually went to online school in 2019, when I was 14. And then I went all the way and graduated when I was 19, So I spent 5 years doing online school, which, you know, in those 5 years, you might think that, like, oh, like, how do I socialize, you know? And I'm still working on that. Like, I've learned to socialize, like, a lot better than I used to, especially with my job now, since I've had my job now for over a year. So you tend to learn a lot and socialize a lot more, even though I'm not quite used to it yet, because I still feel like my social battery dies a lot quicker still with that kind of thing. But, yeah, I mean, like, how am I supposed to be able to socialize when, you know, I'm trying to do YouTube and socialize with people on the internet that I can't even see or talk to, which I guess I can still talk to, but I can't see you guys, you know, because I'm just looking at a camera, and I've been looking at a camera for a long time. But no, it's very, it's been very hard trying to really process all that kind of stuff and just kind of feel okay within myself, which is what I'm still working on. What else? But yeah, no, it's, cause I feel like, cause I talked about how, like, I was in my deepest parts of my life back in Florida when I was, like, 18, and, I feel like when I moved back here, I've talked about my life, you know, a lot on there too, so if you guys just want a quick recap, you guys can go to those videos. I don't watch those videos myself because they just remind me of a very uncomfortable and painful, dark time in my life. Basically, you know, I feel like when I moved back to Colorado the summer of 2023, I was automatically trying to, like, kind of force things to be better because I was, you know, hurting so much. And, you know, and when you force things, you know, to get better instead of letting things get better naturally, you eventually start making things worse, you know. And that's kind of what happened. Things weren't really getting really better, you know. Well, when I moved back, it was great. I was back with my friends and whatnot, even though I was fucking battered to hell from my past relationship at the time. And then it was good for a while, and then I started losing people, and then I was like, when I lost those people, I was like, okay, like now it will get better, like, enough, please, you know, like, now it'll get better. It was good for a good period of time, and then it started to, once I started to let my guard down more, that's when it really started going down even further. And it kind of has stayed that way for a year now, because it wasn't until, like, beginning of last year, you know, is when things, like, started to kind of go downhill when I let my guard down a lot, and that's when I took my big break from YouTube, because I just didn't have my head on right, and I haven't had my head on right for a long time. Which I don't know if I've ever had my head on right, because I feel like I just kind of just been distracted, you know, and yeah, so, and now that I'm back, you know, I do feel like a different person compared to last year, but I also still feel like, you know, I'm not where I need to be, you know, and a lot can change in a year, but a lot of things can stay the same too in a year, my little phone in my throat, sorry. But no, it's been, just the love and support, you know, has been amazing since turning 21. Sometimes you forget how much you matter to people, especially when you know, we get so far in our heads, and, you know, we get so far in our heads and we think that we don't matter, or we're not worthy of, you know, being cared or loved for, or loved. Sorry, I couldn't really find the other word for it. But, you know, we forget, you know, and I still forget even now, you know, because especially because now I spend so much more time alone than I have probably for the first time this is probably the first time I spent, you know, alone since probably 2020. So 6 years. So it's been a long time. I haven't really been able to sit with it, you know, well, because I don't know if I sat with it well back then, because it was kind of a long time ago now. But I don't know. It's I don't know. It's tough. It really is tough, you know, because we haven't had distractions for that long, you know. You have you have no choice but to really work on some of the stuff within yourself, you know, and that's been really rough. But that's why I keep doing YouTube. That's why, you know, I keep doing what I'm doing, is because I feel like that's where my purpose is, and you know, and other people and you guys think so too. And as far as turning 21 goes, it's a really big milestone. I didn't think I would make it this far. I don't feel like I'm 21. I still feel like a kid, but I don't know if we ever feel like the age that we are, you know, throughout life. But it's a big milestone. I definitely thought I would be in a different place in my life, you know, by now. But you know what they say, we're right where we need to be at times, and maybe this is where I need to be in this stage of my life. You know, I'll be honest, like, I'm not enjoying this stage of my life right now, but I've been thinking maybe it's necessary. I don't know. Again, that's where having faith and all that kind of stuff comes in. So, but yeah. Cheers to many more years ahead, and yeah, I look forward to keep making more videos for you guys and more birthdays in the future. And yeah, so I honestly, like, I thought I had a lot more to say, but I really don't have much else to really say to you guys, just because I feel like I've already kind of wrapped up a lot of it in the other video thing when I was talking for like 2 hours straight, you know, which I got a lot off my chest then, so maybe I don't really have a lot to get off now. But maybe if I do have something heavy on my chest, maybe I'll let it out to you guys, you know. That's what my therapist is for. I think that's why. I think that's why how much it is, because I've been actively doing therapy and all that kind of stuff. Even though making these kind of videos for many years was my therapy. But yeah, but no, I love the hell out of you guys. Thank you guys so much for all your guys' support. It means so much to me, and thank you guys for sticking with me through all this time, through all these years. You know, since I was a 14-year-old kid, you know, trying to make it on YouTube, and now I'm 21. So 7 years later, you know, we've come a long way. But yeah, and I was told that, like, you know, my brother's fiance Megan, she kind of challenged me to try a couple of things before I turn 22. Try new things, you know, till I turn 22. Before I turn 22 or something like that. So I guess I'm up to that challenge. But yeah, no, seriously, I love you guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Cheers to 21, and let's keep moving forward. Love you guys. Love you guys. Deuces. Bye. Ugh.